Hello, and welcome to this edition of Artfully Orange. I'm Vicki Landon, Administrator for Orange County's Office of Arts and Cultural Affairs, and I am joined today by Cass Hill from Chill Artistry. Cass, thanks for being here with us today.
It's a pleasure.
Hey, so Cass, you're an Orlando native, and there's a lot of Florida and Floridania in your portfolio and your work. So can you talk to us a little bit about how Central Florida is an influence in the things that you create?
Well, yeah, I was born and raised right here in Central Florida. Grew up around the orange trees, going to Disney with my family. So a lot of those experiences of bright vibrancy and in-your-face kind of marketing and color and vibrancy, like all of that has played a big impact on like where I design from. Of course, it's been like shifted by my life experiences, but yeah, in general, it's really, really influenced by street art and color and yeah, cartoons.
Yeah, I've noticed like your work is really colorful and vibrant. Like it looks like graffiti, but it's whimsical. Like to me, I feel like it's very punk Lisa Frank, right? And like
That's kind of what I'm going for.
And I'm wondering, like, because, in your work as an individual artist, you are also a graphic designer, you take corporate clients. So when you're doing a commission or something that's totally different in style, like you're designing a logo for a dental practice, right? What is that like for you? Is that like a pain or is it a fun change of pace to do a different style than what you would normally do?
I approach all creativity from the same place, from a place of empathy. So whether it's something I'm doing for myself or I'm doing it for a roofing company, it's coming from a place of I want this to really resonate with whoever's looking at it. So I don't find it to be an annoyance to change like my aesthetic or what I'm doing for the client. I find it to be how can I best communicate this to the person who needs to hear it?
That's wonderful. So you said before that you identify as a hermit artist. What is that? What does that mean to you?
I'm pretty sure a lot of artists are going to relate with this one. I love to be home. I love to be home. I love to doodle. I like to be in the garden. I like to be surrounded by the things that inspire me. And that's the artwork on the walls. That's my plants. So I just want to be in my studio, and it's hard to drag me out, but I'll do it because I love my community, but I love my house too.
I heard. So like, okay, we talked about your style in your work that you're creating. And I did call it whimsical. And I look back on some of your work that you've done, that is whimsical. I found this carousel that you posted on Instagram of ghosts in underwear. Like ghosts wearing underwear, and you threw it out to your followers. You're like, what should I do with these? Like, what did you end up doing with those pieces? Did they end up as stickers or journals, or are they strange little stickers?
Honestly, I think I did a couple of stickers of them, but mostly I think they were just fun drawing practice. Like, how many different ways can I make this ghost in underwear look cute? And I love challenges like that. Anytime I can be like, okay, how many different ways can I express this idea? I think it's a fun mental exercise as an artist to like not have to reinvent the wheel every single time, but just like, oh, what small changes can I make to like explore what this concept is?
Yeah. And I know you started out with your initial training in bookmaking and binding, right? But you've done bookmaking, you've done murals, you are one of Orlando's most awarded graphic designers. You do digital animations over still paintings. You have painted vending machines. I read that you've painted a bus, an electric box, billboards. So like when you talk about a challenge, if you think back, like what is the craziest project that you ever had to figure out? Like, how am I even going to execute it?
Oh man. That's hard. I feel, to be honest, every single project that comes to me has its challenges of like, if it's on a massive scale, like painting a bus, you're like, oh man, I'm out in the heat. These are weird little shapes and corners. How am I going to get my design on here? Those are its own set of challenges. And then even smaller projects, we're like, okay, how am I going to take this story that this person is telling me and translate that into a flat 2-color logo? All of it is, to me, exciting to be challenged by all of those different things that are coming towards you as an artist.
Yeah. I can imagine graphic design lends itself really well to your type of personality because it's not the same 9 to 5. I mean, maybe the work is the same. You're at your computer in the same pieces of software, but it's project based, right? There's always something new and exciting. Like, do you find that you like that constant shift of focus, or do you like longer term projects?
I have a mix of both. You know, I have my clients that have been with me for since the beginning, going on 5 years now. That I'm like, yeah, let's keep exploring this. Let's keep doing the same thing. And I enjoy that like progression and growth over time. And then the one and done, like, this is totally out of left field. I've never had the chance to illustrate a children's book before. Let's just dive into something completely new. And I find joy in all of it. Any opportunity to create and just share my ideas and the visions of my community too, like it's just a joy.
What was the children's book that you illustrated?
A friend of mine wrote a book about grief for kids called The Rainbow Road. Definitely check it out, look it up. It was my first book that I got to illustrate. It's very sweet.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm hearing this through line too about the sorts of projects that take you on, about leading with empathy. And I noticed that when I look at the list of partners that you've worked with, like the Orlando Science Center Art After Dark, right? Goblin Market, Zine Fest, Sapphic Agenda, the Bradenton Punk Rock Flea Market. These are either like social enterprises or nonprofits that are really like strong and loud about their values. And I wonder if that appeals to you in particular. Like, are you also really strong and loud about your values? And does that help impact what clients you choose to take on and which ones you don't?
It's my driving force. It's the reason why I left working in like a structured advertising agency environment and took this big, scary leap of faith of like, okay, I'm going to go and see if I can do this so that I could choose who I give my energy to, so that my work could make a greater impact in my community. Everybody from Les Vixens to Orlando House Party to just royalty tapas to any of my clients, they all come from this place of like, man, I want to make my community as big and as loud and as joyful as it can possibly be.
I love it. So you mentioned taking this big scary leap. What inspired you? Like, how did you find the courage to just finally flip switch and do it?
It was half I had to, and other half of I really want to. There was like a shift in the dynamic in the advertising agency I was working at, and my hours had gone down and cut down over there. And I was like, oh, well, I already started doing this bookmaking thing. I got a couple clients here and there. I'm kind of like, I have no choice. I've got to go all in, or I've got to let something else go. And that was going on 5 years ago now. So it was and I tell this to everybody, like, you may not always land exactly where you think you're going to, and you might still be tumbling down this mountain, but just take the leap anyway. Like,
I hear this thread too of the you giving advice to people, right? And I listened to a podcast that you did, and we'll shout them out. You're on Working Artist as a podcast, right? And in that podcast, you talked a lot about the business aspect of being an individual artist, like what a retainer is, how to ask for money and promote your work, how to network, and why that's important. You even did an Instagram carousel about how to like take care of your paintbrushes that I saw, right? So, like, do you find yourself mentoring other individual artists that are more emerging or struggling with the business side? Is that something you think we need more support of in our arts community here?
yeah, I think there can be a lot of gatekeeping, especially when it comes to talking about finances. When it, in the art community, in all of our community, but we'll talk about in our art community. Um, I think it's really important that we start discussing these things transparently and like having genuine open conversations with, okay, how do you structure a retainer? How much is the right amount? Do you include things like admin time, checking your email, scheduling? Like, how do you charge for the meetings that you take with clients? So I think that it's our job as working artists to create an environment where we all can succeed, and that's through sharing the knowledge that we have.
Yeah. Do you think a lot of individual artists in our community undercharge for their work?
It's That's a hard question. Yes, we all deserve to get paid more for our creativity, but it's also like, and I find that I structure my payment. It's like, okay, this client, may not have as big of a budget as this one over
Mhm.
here, but I'm
Mhm.
super passionate about this one. So I implement a sliding scale in my payment structure so that, the ones that can help like fund the whole goal here. So
Yeah.
we try to make it accessible. We try to make our art accessible, even my bookmaking. I want to make sure that these are something that anybody can enjoy. So yeah, there's a balance, but with how we can charge and our clients.
I love that. I love that because you know your worth, you know your agency, and and again, you're true to your values, and you know where you can give of yourself and where you can't. This is certainly inspiring me. If it's inspiring somebody that's watching this, they're like, I need one of their prints. I need to go buy one of their journals. I need to hook up with this person and have them come do my graphic design. How do people find you on the internet?
You can find me on Instagram, chill_artistry, and that's spelled art is try. You can find me on my website too, chillartistry.com. Yeah, shoot me an email, send me a message on Instagram. Be happy to talk to anybody, even if you just have questions as an emerging artist, just to share my story. I'm down.
Well, empath, mentor, illustrator, instructor, artist, graphic designer, bookmaker, artist. Cass, thank you for being here with us and for sharing time with us today.
I appreciate y'all having me on.
Great. And thank you for joining us on this edition of Artfully Orange. We'll catch you next time.